March 1974. Nearly 29 years had passed since World War II officially ended. The world had moved on, cities rebuilt, technology advanced, and peace spread across nations. But deep inside the dense, unsettling jungle of Lubang Island in the Philippines, a war was still going on, and one man was still fighting it. His uniform was torn and weathered, his rifle and sword were still carefully maintained, and his mission still active, at least in his mind. This was Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese intelligence officer who believed World War II was still happening, and he was still fighting the American forces alone. Think about that for a moment. While the rest of the world celebrated peace, while generations were born, cities grew, and history moved forward, one man was still in combat mode, completely alone. Time for him had stopped in 1944. But here's the real question. How does someone survive like that? For 29 years, in a jungle, cut off from the entire world. Because for everyone else, the war ended in 1945. For Hiroo Onoda, it ended in 1974, the day he finally surrendered. So was he a loyal soldier following orders? Or a man trapped by a belief so strong, it became his reality? Let's go back. Hiroo Onoda was born in 1922 in Japan. But this wasn't modern Japan. This was a time when the country was driven by military power and the idea of absolute loyalty to the emperor. From childhood, he was taught something extreme. Surrender is worse than death. There was no giving up, no retreat, no failure, only duty. And Onoda was shaped perfectly for that world. He was disciplined, trained, and eventually selected for a special mission during World War II. In 1944, Japan was losing the war badly. So the military created small guerrilla units, soldiers trained to operate secretly behind enemy lines. And Onoda was one of them. He was sent to a military school where he learned survival tactics, espionage, sabotage, and jungle warfare. How to disappear, how to strike silently, how to survive alone for years if needed. But there was one order that defined everything. No matter what happens, you are not allowed to surrender, not even to die by your own hand. We will come back for you. That single command changed his life forever. Onoda was sent to Lubang Island in the Philippines, a remote, jungle-covered island, perfect for hiding and guerrilla warfare. His mission was simple: disrupt enemy operations, destroy supply lines, and survive until reinforcements arrived, no matter how long it took. But just 1 year later, everything changed. In August 1945, World War II ended after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan officially surrendered. The war was over. But there was one problem. No one told Hiroo Onoda. On Lubang Island, he and a few other soldiers remained hidden in the jungle. The Allied forces dropped leaflets, newspapers, even messages from their families. They all said the same thing: the war is over, come down. But Onoda didn't believe it. He thought it was a trick. A psychological trap designed to lure him out, because in his training, the enemy always lied, so he stayed and waited. Years passed, then decades. He survived on bananas, coconuts, stolen rice, and anything he could find in the jungle. Sometimes he even raided farms. To him, civilians were still enemy collaborators. One by one, his companions gave up. One surrendered in 1949, another died in a firefight, and by 1972, Onoda was completely alone. But he still didn't believe the war had ended, not even a little. Meanwhile, the people of Lubang Island lived in fear, because reports kept coming in. A soldier, still hiding in the jungle, still attacking, still fighting a war long over. Search teams tried everything: psychological messages, loudspeakers, even family letters. Nothing worked. Then something unexpected happened. A 24-year-old Japanese adventurer named Norio Suzuki decided he would find Onoda. No military training, no weapons, just curiosity. And incredibly, he found him in just 4 days. When they met, Onoda still had his weapon ready. He didn't trust him. But Norio told him something simple: Japan has changed. The war is over. Everyone is waiting for you. Onoda replied, I will only believe my commander's order. That changed everything, because the original commanding officer had disappeared years ago. So the Japanese government tracked him down. A special mission was arranged. And finally, after 29 years, the commander arrived in person. He looked at Onoda and read the order. The war is over. Your mission is complete. Surrender your weapons. At that moment, Hiroo Onoda finally accepted reality. He was 52 years old. He had entered the jungle at 22 and lost almost 30 years of his life to a war that had ended without him. When he returned to Japan, he was treated as both a hero and a tragedy, a man who never broke his duty but lost his entire life in the process. He later moved abroad, visited the Philippines again, and even donated money to the people affected by his actions. Hiroo Onoda died in 2014 at the age of 91, but his story remains one of the most unbelievable true stories of the 20th century, a soldier who never surrendered, even when the war had ended decades earlier.